how I'm firing. I'm strong. I'm strong. I'm strong. Strong. Ah, 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 ah.
All right, guys, we're back. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy CMB checking in. And today, guys, we are back on it. We're back on the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford saga. You guys know it goes down September the 13th in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's going to be on Netflix, guys. You're going to have the 4-division champion, the 2-time 168 undisputed champion, the face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez, putting all of his titles on the line versus the pound-for-pound king, the 4-division champion, the 2-time undisputed champion at 140 and 147, Terence Bud Crawford. Now, let me say this. This is the fight. This is the fight that brought me back to YouTube, guys. Some of you guys know I took a hiatus from here because of all the craziness going on in the sport of boxing, the politics, fighters doing the wrong thing, and I just got kind of fed up with it and threw my hands up. But once I saw that first press conference for this fight, you know, it brought back my love for the sport. And this is the fight that I've been talking about. Some of you guys know I've been talking about this fight for over a year. I've been pushing for this fight to happen. And a lot of people thought I was crazy. A lot of people thought this fight was stupid. But here we are. Here we are. We're going to get this fight. And you're going to have the two of the best fighters on the planet mixing it up in the ring. And I can't wait for September the 13th. Now, let me say this. Terence Bud Crawford. I'll say this, Terence Bud Crawford, in the last press conference, I think he was really selling this fight with some of the things that he said and some of the things that he did. One thing that he said in particular was he said he was going to plan on going upside Canelo Alvarez's head. And I think that got Canelo Alvarez's fans really pissed with that. And I think he was, you know, trying to get the fans riled up against him. The face-off, when he kind of, you know, got in Canelo's face and he was kind of pushing Canelo back a little bit. Canelo got, you know, a little bit of aggressive himself and pushed Terence Bud Crawford. Yeah, I think, you know, Crawford turning up the heat a little bit actually start selling the fight, in my opinion. Now, let me say this, not to be outdone, Canelo Alvarez gets his get back, gets his clap back at Terence Bud Crawford by annihilating his resume. It was an interview he was doing on Ring Magazine's YouTube channel. Shout out to Ring Magazine. I'm going to play this clip for you guys, and I'm going to give you my take on what I actually think about Terence Bud Crawford's resume. So let me play this real quick.
Don't get me wrong, okay? He's a good fighter, a great fighter. I always say before I see him calling me out and want to fight and everything, I say before, he's a great fighter. But if you look at his career, mention one elite fighter. Just mention me one elite fighter.
So Postal wasn't elite?
Who?
Victor Postal.
Who's that guy?
So he wasn't commercialized. He wasn't Ricky Barnes wasn't elite.
40 years old champion in that moment beat Mr. Postal in my gym. I saw that.
So Ricky Barnes wasn't elite?
Ricky Barnes doesn't elite.
Okay, elite. It's cool.
Is there a champion?
I'm going to fight another elite.
There is a champions, good fighters, but elite fighters is different. Wait.
So I'm going to fight an elite fighter in September.
Yeah, okay.
Then we're going
to find out.
Then we're going to find
All right, guys. Shout out to Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is low-key funny, man. He does, you know, say some things that's funny. When Crawford mentioned Victor Postal and Ricky Burns, Canelo was like, who? So it was pretty funny. But let me get my take on this because we've been here before with Crawford and his resume being criticized. And I want to harp back to when the build up for the Errol Spence Jr. fight. And Errol Spence Jr., Derek James, and a lot of Errol Spence fans were saying that he hadn't fought anybody. They were trying to annihilate his resume then. I even heard a lot of YouTubers doing the same thing. And when I talked about that, I talked about how I didn't have a problem with Crawford's resume. I thought that Crawford has fought so many different styles, a myriad of different styles, that's why it makes him such an elite fighter, in my opinion. He's been in the ring with all types of styles. And I honestly think, you know, when Canelo asked him about who he's been in the ring with as an elite fighter, I think he should have mentioned some other guys. I think he probably should have mentioned Errol Spence Jr. number one, possibly Showtime Sean Porter. He could have mentioned Gamboa, even Kell Brook, the special one. He could have mentioned those guys. Victor Postol, in my opinion, I think Victor Postol is a great fighter, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. But let me say this. Like I said, we've been here before, people criticizing Terence Bud Crawford's resume. But if you look at it, if you look at Terence Bud Crawford's peers, they're saying that he is the pound for pound king. He is the guy to beat. And guys like Alexander Usyk, who is an undisputed champion, a two-time undisputed champion at heavyweight. Guys like Dimitri Bivol, who defeated Canelo Alvarez. You know, you got these guys, these elite guys, saying that Terence Bud Crawford is the pound for pound king. So I don't think it really matters who's on his resume when the bell rings, this upcoming fight. I think Terence Bud Crawford has proven time and time again that he is a special fighter. Like he said, he's different, and I believe him. And this is a guy, when the lead up to the Errol Spence Jr. fight, I was a huge Errol Spence Jr. fan. But guess what? I picked Terence Bud Crawford to win the fight because I saw something. I saw that he was different. A lot of people got mad at me. But like I say on this channel all the time, you know, just because I'm rooting for a fighter doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to pick that fighter to win. And I didn't do that. I didn't pick the guy that I was rooting for. I picked the guy that I thought that was going to win. I'm a huge fan of Terence Bud Crawford as well. You guys know that. But I was an even bigger fan of Errol Spence Jr. I went to a lot of Errol Spence Jr. fights. But I saw something in Terence Bud Crawford that stood out. His skill set, his boxing IQ. And that's the same thing that I see here. You know, a lot of people, they can't see things because, you know, they have their fanboy glasses on. And I get it. You know, you always want to root for, you know, who you believe in. But sometimes you have to look below that and really look at things hard and really say to yourself, does this guy have what it takes to win the fight? Now, I'm not saying it's 100% guarantee that Crawford beats Canelo Alvarez. It's, you know, it's a tough fight. Canelo Alvarez is an elite fighter. But I see something in Terence Bud Crawford. I see the skill set. I see the IQ. You know, he's a switch hitter. He has great footwork. And I just see certain things lacking in Canelo Alvarez's arsenal. He doesn't have great footwork. Sometimes he gasses out. You know, he doesn't know how to cut off the ring. There are some holes in his game that Terence Bud Crawford can exploit. Now, can Terence Bud Crawford knock Canelo Alvarez out? It's possible, but highly unlikely in my opinion. But I, for one, think that he can definitely outbox Canelo Alvarez and get the victory. But anyway, kudos to Canelo Alvarez for taking it to Crawford. You know, Crawford got the best of him at the press conference, and Canelo Alvarez, like I said, not to be outdone. He comes back, he claps back. You know, I see a lot of different YouTubers having fun with this one. You know, check one off for Canelo Alvarez. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think about Terence Bud Crawford's resume. What do you think his chances are of winning this fight? Do you think Canelo Alvarez will run over Crawford, knock him out, get him out of there? Do you think Terence Bud Crawford has the ability to outbox Canelo Alvarez? You guys let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.